You're watching Ride Like a Local with Belt Drive Betty. Welcome back to another episode of Ride Like a Local. This week I was granted a rare interview with Steve from the HAMC Nomads, Alberta. Steve talks about how clubs of all sorts, from Christian riders to Hells Angels, came together for one common purpose: to help the people of Fort McMurray and the first responders. So Steve, tell me a little bit about how you guys got involved in helping out in Fort McMurray.
Actually, the reason we started this was because of the Syndicate MC in Fort McMurray. Their clubhouse burnt down. They lost everything in the fire, amongst all the other people that lost everything. So at first it started out just small, to try and help them with some essential items, clothing, toiletries, and help raise some money for them to put them up in a decent place and find places for them to live, food for their animals, and just the basic needs. After that, it just started morphing into something really big. All the support clubs and riding clubs in the area started bringing clothing, new articles of clothing, toiletries, groceries, opening their homes to members of the Syndicate MC Fort McMurray. And from there, we thought, hey, this is getting bigger than we ever thought it would be. And we decided, with everything else that we had, it's time to help the rest of the people of Fort McMurray. We had a great resource to do that with all the clubs in and around the area.
Steve, you guys had a really wicked warehouse. How did that end up happening?
The warehouse came about through a great friend, Satellite Dave, who's been around for many years. He comes on a lot of the runs. He's a great advocate in the biker community. There was an open bay, warehouse bay, next to his shop in the west end of Edmonton. Wasn't being rented at that time. He talked to the landlord and asked if we could use it for this occasion, because we all had our garages full of clothes and food items and everything like that, and it was hard to start dispersing it to people. We needed a central location, and it came to pass that Dave hooked it up for us, which was actually a great thing that had happened, because the warehouse started from us filling it from what we had in our garages from donations, and it very soon burst at the seams with donations from everywhere. Right across Canada, we were getting donations from the biker community in every province, every city, every township.
How many people do you think you impacted?
That's a really tough question. We didn't keep track. We weren't counting of how many evacuees we actually helped. We got the word out there through social media, through other biker sites, through the Fort McMurray Relief site, through your site, and we contacted you. Belt Drive Betty magazine, we asked, yourself, Renee, and anybody in the biker community. It wasn't a time for squabbles or anything like that. This was going out to help people that lost everything. So, like I said earlier, the warehouse that we had soon was bursting at the seams. We didn't have a place to put all the overstock. We were receiving trailers from Calgary, Saskatchewan, Regina, Saskatoon, Winnipeg, all over Ontario, even throughout the continental United States. We were receiving trailers that motorcycle clubs in the community that heard about this cause were donating everything they could. We started to package up care items and send them to any of the hotels that were receiving evacuees that had donation centers set up. We started sending out to other donation centers in Boyle, Redwater, sending stuff right to Fort McMurray itself to aid the firefighters. We had countless volunteers that I can't even, think to remember all their names, that were driving trucks, donating trailers to load, to take to all these different locations, especially to Fort McMurray, to the firefighters, with essentials that they needed that they weren't receiving. Simple things like insoles for their boots, cigarettes, chewing tobacco, even things like gum and large amounts of water. In the beginning, when the fires were first happening, the Throttle Kings were donating their time, their equipment, running up truckfuls with 5 or 6 tidy tanks on them of fuel. Here's guys racing not away from a fire but into a fire to aid the firefighters. We have lots of people in that community that grew up there or that have worked there for numerous years, that community means a lot to them. So to put a specific number on it, I'm sorry, I can't, but I do know it was a lot. We heard the Red Cross was tight on what they were giving people, little care packages, and people were coming to us in greater need than what they were getting there. We saw faces come back many a times thanking us so much, and like I said, for us it was like, take what you need. We have an abundance of it. We're not going to keep it for anything else. Whatever we heard people needed, we put a call out for. If it was water needed for the fires at Fort McMurray, we put a call out for water. People would bring water. Amongst clothing, new articles of clothing. We had a gentleman who wanted to remain anonymous, who was shutting down his dollar store for clothing, who brought a 5 cubic ton truck of all new clothing articles, from children's clothing to adults clothing, all brand new, tags on it still. A couple of the car dealerships, Dodge, donated brand new vests and jackets to the cause. Ford dealership in Airdrie donated a whole truckload of water amongst food. They put a food drive on. We were receiving anything we put out a call for. Again, if we put the call out for baby food we received. Diapers was a big call, and we received diapers on a daily basis, in and out the door, because, as I said earlier, we were spreading these to other communities where there were donation centers that were running low, which we were in contact constantly with to try and help them fill their need.
The Sports Camera Store in West Edmonton Mall is your one-stop shop for Drift and GoPro action cameras. We carry Canada's largest selection of action cam accessories, along with video sunglasses, hidden and surveillance cameras, and more. Visit www.sportscamerastore.com or stop into our West Edmonton Mall location, lower level by the bay. Two Hills, Alberta, winner of the inaugural Canada's Most Rider-Friendly Community Contest, home to the Run to the Hills Memorial Rally and Wayside Fallen Riders Park. Two Hills, Alberta, Canada's most rider-friendly community. The Rider-Friendly Business Association, helping you to shop, eat, and play local. www.riderfriendly.ca. The Rider-Friendly Business Association, helping riders find rider-friendly businesses. How many clubs and riding clubs and individuals do you think came together to help you in your efforts?
That's actually a good question. I honestly don't think I can count them all. I would like to try and name some of the ones that were really instrumental. I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave out a few, just because, like I said, we were in contact with clubs across Canada. It started with my charter, HAMC Nomads Alberta. That morphed into every other charter in Alberta, all the Hells Angels in Alberta, and that would quickly spread across Canada. Every Hells Angel charter in this country was getting a hold of me to see how they could help, whether it was fundraisers, collecting donations themselves. Across in Europe, and even as far away as South Africa, brothers over there had heard what was going on here and wanted to help in one way or another. But the local community clubs, of course, Syndicate MC Alberta, the Fort Mac guys, being out of their own home, not having a proverbial pot to piss in, let's say, came together. St. Pete's held a car wash, a bikini car wash, with all proceeds going to the evacuees, and for whatever donations we needed. The members of Syndicate MC, not having anything on their own, were down there helping out. They were at the warehouse helping out, as well as with Edmonton Syndicate and Red Deer Syndicate were here. Clubs like Dirty Few were here. We're collecting donations in Grand Prairie. We're working with us at the warehouse here, shifting off all day long to have members there to help out. Their members' wives were helping out. Tribal MC was helping out here. Some members of the Silent Few were helping out. All the local clubs in the community, these Christian riding clubs, Badger's Breed, Disciples, Apostles, the Veterans MC were helping out, driving trucks with trailers on them to the different communities, helping load and unload trailers, helping sort, which was a full-time job, sorting clothes, diapers, food, water, you name it. It was all hands on deck. I hope I'm not forgetting any clubs here. We're talking Iron Sirens, Steel Vixens, Metal Saints, women's riding clubs. We're all there to help. Metal Saints, who some of them lost their own homes in Fort McMurray, down helping out. Iron Sirens across the country, everybody, Steel Vixens out of Bonnyville came in to help out, collecting in their area. And again, countless clubs across the country that I'm at a loss right now for all the names, because there were so many. At this time, I wish I would have kept all the messages and emails and texts from clubs across the country and into the United States that helped out. Everywhere almost where we have a Hells Angel charter, there was other clubs around in that neighborhood or that area that wanted to help us with this drive. What started from a small local thing became a national and an international call to arms to help whatever they could help with someone or people, in our biker community, but also people in Fort McMurray that lost everything. It was a great tragedy that our community pulled together to help out.
Moncton, New Brunswick, home of Atlanticade Motorcycle Festival and runner-up community in the inaugural Canada's Most Rider-Friendly Community Contest, sponsored by Community Futures of Alberta. Thinking of starting a new business? Expanding an existing one? What could you do if you had a team? We'll meet your new team.
Hi, I'm Holly Sorgen. I'm the Executive Director. My name is Wanda Shepard. I work in administration.
My name is Sherry Breen. I am the Controller.
My name is Leah Holler. I work with Community Futures.
This is Shane Wallace. I'm the Contract Business Analyst.
My name is Janine Harder.
Community Futures, growing communities, one idea at a time.
Highway 63 never really meant that much to me. Now it's burned right into history, stranded there in our memories. Highway 63, it was all we had, it was everything. We were caught in wildfire. Sands, building roughneck lines, using roughneck hands. We thought it was our destiny. Now it looks like hell on the CBC. caught in wildfire. Still hard to believe that anything exists when you stare right into the apocalypse. Can't stop the shifting winds or the crashing tides. It's all burning down, just take a look outside. We're caught in wildfire. Caught in wildfire. We never thought we'd leave this crazy town on 63. We never thought we'd see it blazing down on 63. Jump in smoke will burn you to the bone, but does it set you free? All you can do is fight and inspire. All you can do is keep this desire. All you can do is join in the choir. All we can do is sing it with fire. Highway 63 never really meant that much to me. Now we see it right into history, stranded there in our memories. Highway 63, it was all we had, it was everything. Highway 63, Highway 63. Highway 63, we still feel the flames.
So, Steve, tell us a little bit about how you got involved with helping the firefighters.
Well, that was kind of a three-pronged approach on that. Yourself, we knew you were up there helping with feeding the firefighters and everything, Renee. Jeremy from the Condemned was up there aiding in fighting the fire and being on equipment, and we had the Throttle Kings running fuel up there. So by that network, by me being in contact with yourself and those two other individuals, I was constantly asking, what's needed, what's needed? We knew the food was getting covered and water, but we needed to know what else. And that's how it came to pass that we were sending other items like, again, insoles, brand new socks, food that the firemen could carry on them, like granola bars, stuff like that, juice packs, Gatorade juice packs. And that morphed into being in contact with some of the firefighters themselves. Jeremy from the Fort McMurray James, from the Fort McMurray Fire Department. When I became in contact with him and he gave us more of the essential needs, then we kept sending them up. But again, it was that network of individuals, including yourself, Renee, who was up there at the very first, that was essential for us here to furbish the firefighters with what they needed.
Steve, tell me, how do you feel knowing how many people you were able to help?
I guess, that's kind of a weird question, but it makes me feel great and honored. But I want to take this time here to say, it wasn't just me. I started this. And I started it to help people in our community first, and that were affected by it. Riders, people in the motorcycle community. And then it snowballed with me. But I'm actually really proud of everyone else in the community, all the clubs that came together, everyone that banded together, their wives, their children, everyone else, people from different walks of life that are on the fringe of our community. How this became, it just morphed into something to show the humanity of everyone. How in a time of need, we as Albertans pulled together and helped our own. It's a great feeling. I mean, it's to be a part of it. It's humbling.
What's one thing you would like the community at large to know about when it comes to how this motorcycle community pulled together regardless of what they wore?
That we're humans. We're all individuals. You know, we're always portrayed in the media as this evil, no matter who it is. We have a big target on us because they can put us in the paper. What I want everyone to know is don't believe everything you read in the paper. We didn't do this as a publicity event. We're not trying to get brownie points. We didn't call the media to come and race over to us and look what we're doing. We didn't ask for any kind of coverage on this because we didn't care about the coverage. That's not what it was about. It was about helping people in our community. Myself, I worked in Fort McMurray for 7-8 years. That community meant and does mean a lot to me. I wanted to help, and everyone else did. Everyone we know knows someone affected by that fire up there in one way or another, whether it's loss of work, whether it's a family losing everything they have up there, or a friend. Like I said, we're just humans.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Actually, Renee, there is. Thinking about it now, I think I've left out a couple people. Again, I wish I could remember or had a list of everyone that helped. I'd like to thank Billy McCabe from HAMC Westridge. I forgot to mention him in there, I'm sure of it, but he was beside me the whole way, pounding this out on social media. He was a great help with me. When I was working, he was there and helped in any way he can. Bear Lamont from Bear Skin Art, another great individual that helped out so much. I'd like to thank everyone who volunteered, Lisa, Ian, all the clubs, everybody's children and wives that came and helped out. I'd like to thank my wife, everyone who donated to this great cause. And I want to thank the people of this province. You made me proud to live in Alberta and be an Albertan. That really showed what we can do in this community, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
That's our time for this week, folks. Join us next time when we speak with Jody Hudak, a Fort McMurray evacuee turned volunteer.